and the latest snafu in the ongoing saga of trying to mod this guitar when I've never modded anything before. I don't know if you can see, but the saddles on that trem do not line up exactly with the holes that were there before them, which could be a bit of a problem. Specifically, they're all just a little bit to the right of center. So, yeah, that clearly is not going to work. We are just a little too far to starboard there. So, what this means is I'm going to have to take out this trem system that was such a pain in the ass to put in the first place. And I'm going to have to fill in this hole that'll be left there, and somehow with something, and then drill a new hole just a little bit to the port side of where it is now. Just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Because I don't think that this thing is such that I can simply loosen this up and move the plate over a smidge, which is all it would take, is a smidge, 1/16 of an inch maybe. Well, I tried to loosen up the screws holding down the tremolo and just scoot it over a little bit, and that did not work. So I pulled the post out, just altered the hole a bit, but I could not alter the hole such that the post would stay in it. So just pulled out the post, took out the whole tremolo, and I have filled in that hole with some wood filler. So we'll just let that dry for a day or two and then drill a brand new hole right where it should be, hopefully. Okay, used wood filler inner stuff. I'm sure that's the technical name for it. To fill in that massive frickin' hole, and it's been drying now for about 3 days. So I'm going to sand this off now, and once it's level, we'll see if we can find the right spot for the post this time, you know, to support that side of the trem system. And then we'll see if this stuff is sturdy enough to drill in, which I kind of doubt. Honestly, I'm not feeling a lot of confidence about this here, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sanding is done. I've got it pretty well even there with the level of the wood. So next step is we'll stick the tremolo in there and try to find the right spot and see how well it drills. All right, now let's see. I got my Wilkinson M series bridge here, and the trouble I had last time was that I drilled that hole just a little too far to well, what would be the bottom of the guitar. Now, so let's drop this in here now, and see, fortunately, right, the screw holes from the original trem are exactly where the strings need to pass over, and it appears that things are lined up just about exactly where they should be right now. Cool. So, oh, well, they were until I decided to goof it up. Yeah, it turned out to be about like this last time. More like this, but still that, no, yeah, it was like this. So, that didn't work out too well, as you saw. So we'll just scooch this over a little bit. That looks about right. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to put down this phone, probably, to make me a circle right here. And after moving up in drill bit diameter several times, we have what looks to be the appropriately sized hole in, I hope, the appropriate location. Will it work? Dun dun dun! Stay tuned. And the thing has been sitting for about 4 days now to let the air get down in there, and that wood putty, I'm guessing, is as hard as it's possibly going to get. So we'll see if we can put a post in there and make it work. All right, the post went in, and it took a little effort, as it should. I had to use the rubber mallet to whack it down in there to get it at the appropriate level. And none of the wood putty seems to have disintegrated or anything. So we will now attach the bridge and see if things hold up. All right, let's focus on the positive. The positive was that that wood putty, with enough days drying, was in fact hard enough to take that huge screw and hold it firmly, so that's great. Now the not as positive. I got that, let's see, how would Shakespeare put this? That mother-f***ing hole in the wrong f***ing place yet f***ing again. I'm pretty sure that's how Shakespeare would put it. So I pulled it out, and I'm going to try to move that. Okay, how would Charles Dickens put it? I'm going to try to move that goddamned hole over one more time. And I say just one more time, but I'll probably keep at this, as irritating as it is, until I get it in the right spot, because otherwise there's sort of no point to the whole project. So, all right. The wood putty works. That's awesome. Just my aim sucks, apparently. So I used my trusty drill, and I made that hole a little bigger, moved it over toward the top of the fretboard a bit, and put the bridge on there. And now the thing's not held down, things aren't screwed down, but if I put that bridge on there and with the post over just a little bit, I move up here to the neck, and we can see the position of that low E string, and that looks significantly better than it did before. Now, if we compare that with the position of the low E string on this guitar, which is another Strat type thing, this is a Glary actually, it looks about the same. Well, okay, it's actually quite difficult to put these two things down there side by side, but I've just stacked the Glary on top of the Indio, and you can see that the position of the low E string relative to the edge of the neck on the Indio is pretty much the same as on the Glary now, which suggests to me that maybe we finally hit the right position. So now what remains is for me to use some wood putty to fill in the gap that is on this side of the post, so that that thing will be stationary and preserve that string positioning. So, all right, this is this is even more of an adventure than I thought it would be. Wish me luck. But before even trying to fill in that gap where the post is, I turned this guitar over and discovered that all our hammering and drilling and so forth had essentially broken off a huge chunk of wood right there. So, great. The post was in danger of falling clear through the guitar. So, I used a little Gorilla Uber glue here, and I've put that chunk back in place, and I'm making this video now about 14 hours, no, about 12 hours after I actually did this, so it's probably not quite ready yet. But maybe by this evening it'll be solid enough that I can turn the thing back over and we can go on with trying to putty in that post in the appropriate spot. Speaking of which, this is the wood filler that I have been using, and it's worked out pretty well. It's worked out actually a lot better than I thought that it would. It's dried pretty firmly, pretty hard. It's, you know, it holds a screw now, and it doesn't crumble when I touch it with a drill. So yeah, that's actually worked out a little better than I thought it would, despite the fact that my aim sucks, and so I keep I keep having to redo the damn thing. By the way, I don't know anybody at the DAP Corporation. Well, let's say I do, actually. DAP plastic wood all-purpose wood filler is what I use for all my guitar up needs. Buy a can and they send me a quarter. They don't, but how cool would that be? If anybody would like me to sponsor, you know, whatever, yeah, just send me. I'll use your brand of wood filler on screen, right? Or I'll buy your Walmart brand cheap-ass putty knives. The brand I turn to for all my needs. You know, whatever. Yeah. Since it appears that widening the hole and scooching that post, this post, over that way, will give us the correct position of the trem bridge. That's what I've done, and I've packed the gap full of wood putty, as you can see there. So we'll give that a couple of days to dry, and then put the trem back on there and see if it works like we hope so. And it didn't. I put the trem bridge in there and it lined up just fine, and that's great. And I tightened the screws in front down, tightened those posts down a little bit, turned the guitar over, attached the springs to the claw, and the pull of the springs just yanked this post right out of there. That wood filler was not strong enough to keep it in there. So, damn, what to do now? I guess what I'll do is just fill this whole huge damn hole up with wood filler and let that thing dry for a few days and decide then what to do. Oh my God! And holy Moses, I thought this day would never come. At least it felt like it would never come. As you recall, I filled up this here hole for this post with wood putty because I had screwed it up multiple times, and I drilled a hole into that putty about 3 days after I put it in, and then I let the thing sit for nearly a week so that the air could get down in there and dry it and make that stuff as hard as it could be. And so just a little bit ago, I had to use a mallet to pound the post in, which is good, and nothing crumbled. And I turned the thing over and put on the springs, and everything is in place. And those saddles look like they are lined up exactly where they should be. Woo, doggies.